I've not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work. Thomas Edison. My friends, just keep plugging along at this. You can do it. It'll take experimentation. It'll take a little work each and every day, but if you stick with it, there is nothing like perseverance. The perseverance of water bores right through mountains, grounds down rocks. It is amazing. Now, let's look at these charts. Everything down for the day except gold, up a little bit, 0.31%. Stocks rolling over, Bitcoin rolling over big time. And let's just look real quick at the S&P 500 on this half-day chart. We see where things peaked, and then where we started losing some price action, moving down. We saw our STC crossover going down, which is nice. Now you might say, hey, is the market crash starting back up again? Are we going to have enough to maybe jump into a down move? Well, again, let's take a look at what volume is doing. We're calling up volume, it's just simple volume indicator. And if you look, you can see that things peaked when things topped out on the green as far as volume, up volume. But as we look at the down volume, you can see that it's below the average. That's what this blue band is. Now, if we look back to the last time we had a really nice, successful, strong down move when the STC rolled over, what do we see here? We see that as the volume was hammering down and we were able to jump in and grab 3.27% in a down move on SH, which is the inverse to SPY. We did that when the volume was jamming up well above the average. Just something for you to look at, to take into consideration, to pay attention to. We like to see volume high when things are going in our direction with the STC. So we'll see. Maybe this volume will accelerate if we push through that 200 period EMA. But again, just another little thing for you to look at. I don't want to complicate the decision-making process because, of course, we are what? We're above the 200 EMA. We're looking for long moves. I'm happy to see this downstroke on the STC. Why? Because it sets us up potentially, if things do revert back to a green up move, we can jump in and ride it on the STC. What's also going our way? Well, the 2-day chart. It's green on the STC and has pushed through the 200 EMA. And of course the weekly, well, it's bounced off the 200 EMA and it is green also. So we're now at a plus 14. So the only thing that's not going in our direction is 195-minute, the half-day chart. So we're waiting to see if that's going to rotate over and head up. If it starts to crash and moves through the 200 EMA, then we'll be looking at the potential for a down move, but it won't be one of the strongest because we've got all that push up from the up waves on the 2-day and the weekly. Just keep that in mind. That's why we have the success multiplier formula. If you're not taking that training, I'll put it in at the end of today's show so you can understand the success multiplier formula and how that works. It just helps you look at all the waves all the time. Now, let's move on to the NASDAQ 100. Same thing, it was down more, 1.13%. Vice, the S&P down 0.40%. And again, thankfully, we've had that STC move down. We had all this up movement. We needed to pull back to potentially jump back in. Like the S&P, the 2-day is up and the weekly is up, bouncing off that 200 EMA. Also higher high with the up move this week over last week. That's good to see too. So that's where we are, what we're waiting for on stocks, for them to sort themselves out and give us the possibility of jumping in on an up trade. Now, let's see what's up with TLT, 20-year bonds. They are down for the day, 0.39%. They are still below the 200 EMA. You know, again, we can see where the STC is negative, and we are just waiting to see how that sort of works its way out. We see on the 2-day that we are green and up. We did reach a high a few candles ago on that 2-day chart. It is still green on the STC, And we look at the weekly, not reaching a higher high so far this week, but it is green also. So we'll keep an eye on bonds, waiting for it to push through that 200 EMA to jump back in, or to jump into an up move. It's been a long time coming, if indeed it does come. That's where we are on bonds. Let's move on to gold. Like we said, the only bright spot was the precious metal today, up 0.31%, heading toward, and again, going higher than that latest high. We can see it topped out a little bit higher for the day, but hasn't pushed through that critical 200 EMA to give us the ability to jump into a long move. We see on the 2-day it's heading up toward its 200 EMA too. It's green on the STC. The weekly is not green yet. We have bounced off the 200 EMA on the weekly, and we do see it moving higher for the week. So we'll keep an eye on things and see where they go, how they go, and if indeed gold's going to push through this important 200 EMA to give us the ability to jump into some up moves. I can't wait to buy gold. I know you guys are excited about doing some practice trades on it too, when it comes back into favor. Now, let's see what's going on with Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the big downer today. We look on the Bitcoin future ETF, the VanEck. The reason we track this one as opposed to the other two Bitcoin ETFs is this one has the lowest fees. Now, I don't find myself, when I've traded Bitcoin in the past, not been into it for a very long time. I've jumped in, caught some run-ups, and done okay with it. But if you want to follow Bitcoin and you want to be able to do it without having to sock money into any of these crypto exchanges, some of which have been having some real problems as of late. Of course, this VanEck ETF trades like a stock. You can buy it on the market. You can sure practice trade it. And look at that. It's $22+ a share. So when you get ready to fractional trade, you can buy a share too. Not too much, not put too much at risk, but see how you can do. Well, being in it right now is not where you want to be. Like I said, down 4.07% in a practice trade. If you were in it, we are green on the STC, but with all this sideways sliding, doesn't give us a great deal of accuracy. Still below the 200 EMA. We look at the 2-day, and of course we can see where things have popped up. We're not back up to that high. We're just sliding along, little red down candle forming. We look at the weekly. Where are we there? Not reaching the latest highs, but fairly close. And again, we'll keep an eye on things. Still red there on the STC too. So still waiting for Bitcoin to figure out what it's going to do and when, but a down day for it today. That's where we are, folks, as we end the day on Tuesday. Head on into Wednesday, the 10th of August. We always love having you with us. Don't forget, Patreon members, tomorrow, we love you tomorrow. Why? Because we have the live question answer call-in session, 12:30. That is right after the noon hour Eastern Daylight Time here in the States. If you can't join us, we understand. If you can, would love to have you. But nonetheless, whether you're joining us or not, go ahead and send us your questions, your stocks or ETFs that you want us to help you backtrack for some potential practice trading. Remember, we don't give market advice, but we do help you with your training and your practice trading. We're happy to do that. If you're not a Patreon supporter, there's still time to join, and join us tomorrow. So go to the Patreon page. You'll see a link in the show notes. My friends, God bless. Thank you so much for being with us. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.